Welcome back. We are talking about high school golf here on the Southern California Golf Show podcast. Pete Fox, Marc Lecair, now joined by the head coach at Servite High School, Dane Jaco, and Preston Valder. Now, you know Preston is a star in the making when he's got my headset on, and you know how that goes, Marc. I don't let too many people wear the headset.
No, you don't. I don't think I've ever been that privileged. So,
Thank you, guys.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Preston, we want to talk to you specifically about this golf season, which just ended, June 8th at the state tournament. It's been, we were talking to your coach, Dane, before we came on here about what is involved with the quote-unquote postseason golf after you finish playing your regular season within the Trinity League. You move on to the postseason, which is not only an individual event, it's a team event, and it seems to go on forever. In your mind, do you have to really just forget about what's next and just kind of play the game, play the match that's in front of you right here and now?
You gotta take it on a complete day-by-day basis, because I mean, you have first round of team, and then if your team doesn't make it out of it, you still have individuals and all of that. But even if your team does make it to third round and then something bad happens, you can still make it as an individual. So you're really never out of it. Just take it day by day and play each round as best you can.
and the individual performances really do affect the team. So how much does that, I mean, when you think about golf, you think about it as an individual sport, but certainly not at the high school level. You take it all up, you add up the scores, you put them together, but when you see a guy struggling, how much is it on you to make sure he doesn't get down, to make sure that it doesn't come off the bus, and you guys can continue to thrive and succeed as a team instead of just an individual?
Yeah, you have to always try and pick up everyone and just make sure everyone's got the same amount of focus and everyone's got the same goal in mind, because if you don't, I mean, you can't win. It takes all six of you to really have a good team and do well.
Does it feel more team oriented at that point? I mean, do you guys really feel like a group instead of just out there on an island? And if so, how much does that help you with your confidence when things are going bad?
It helps a lot, because you know you got other guys who can back you up, especially if you're on one of the better teams like we had. So it's nice to know that, but at the same time, you want to play well as an individual because it's helping you and it's also helping your team.
Dane, now I'm going to put you on the spot here. You've tried to explain this to me 2 or 3 times, and as you mentioned, you've tried to explain it to the principal at your school more than once. Give us kind of an overview of what Preston and your team went through thus far in the postseason to get to the state championship Open Northern California at Poppy Hills.
Well, the first thing you have to do is qualify for the team event. And that's usually one that got to come in either first, second, or third in your league. And that'll give you an automatic bid to the team event. Then you have to go through the divisions. There's 7 divisions, and you have to finish in the top 3 in your divisional. And then you go to the team championship on that Thursday, and you need to finish in the top 3 for that to go on to the Southern Cal Championship. And then out of the Southern Cal Championship, they take the top 3 out of that, and then that goes on to state. Now, remember, there's 7 divisions, so everybody's got 16 to 24 teams when you're talking about a divisional, and so you're taking only the top 3 out of the 16 to 24 teams in that. And it's all pulled together, and unlike other sports, there are no divisions, 1, 2, 3, or 4, or anything like that. Everybody's just clumped together, and you got to get it all together and have everybody play well on the same day, otherwise you don't advance.
Well, you've had quite a team this year. I see Servite next to the name of so many kids on both of these tournaments. The high school championship, Preston finished 9th in that. And then when you move on to the state championship, Preston was 23rd, Tyler Little and Michael Bonacato, is that how you say it? Bonacato were 28th. Then you had Martin Manolo, 34th, and Charlie Erskine, 36th. Am I leaving anybody out? Is that the whole team right there?
Smith. But
I think
okay.
Tyler Smith didn't play very well that day, but yeah, there's 6 guys on the team, and everyone played average on that day at best. We got off to a poor start, and we just couldn't seem to rebound from our start, and we wound up coming in 6th. We were hoping for a little bit better than that, But
now, did the course play a part in that? I mean, was it just something that didn't fit well with your particular game, your style, Preston, or the team, Dane? I mean, how did that play itself out? Was it just not your day?
It's just golf. It was just one of those days. It wasn't our day, and none of us played well actually. So
I think we played 2 practice rounds, and both practice rounds we probably were anywhere from 6 to 10 over, which would have done really well in the tournament. And then we came back on the 3rd day and just didn't play well that day. But that's unlike a lot of other, like college golf. It's one day. You know, it's not a 2 or 3 or 4 day event where you can rebound from. It's a 1 day event, and you got to have it all on the same day.
So Preston, what's next for you? Are you still in high school or are you graduating?
Graduated this year, and then I'll be a freshman at UCLA in the fall.
UCLA, playing with Cantley.
Exactly.
Have you met him? Are you friends with him? Do you know him at all?
Good friends with him. Played golf with him the past 3 years.
He has to be a huge inspiration to the junior golfers, right?
Exactly. We all look up to him. We all know how good he is. I mean, I talk to him every day, pretty much. So it's just fun.
Now, when you see someone like Bo Hostler who gets to the U.S. Open, and granted he was cut, but I mean his name was being talked about quite a bit. Now, is that something that inspires you? Because you guys are the same age. He might even be younger than you.
He's younger. I grew up playing golf with Bo. I've known Bo for a long time. He's another good stick out there, and he played well just to get to the Open, obviously. And it's just an honor to be there, being that young and all.
Now, is there any rivalry that exists between you guys? I mean, is it all friendly competition with the golfers?
We all always want to beat each other. There's no rivalry. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's not like a rivalry. It's just everyone always wants to win. It's just good competition.
Yeah, they're not like the extreme athletes with the skateboarders. They're all friends. It's like, oh, I hope he wins. And, they just pat each other on the back. There's got to be competition, right? Speaking of which, we were talking about this earlier with Rory McIlroy, and a lot of people want to draw this competition, this rivalry, which doesn't even exist yet, between him and Tiger Woods because it's good for the game. What is your thought on that rivalry and Rory McIlroy as a whole? Does he resonate with you guys at this point? I mean, he's only a few years older than you.
Yeah, he's one of the young guys out there. There's 4 or 5 of them who are real young out there who are playing very well. And, I mean, that's good for golf, having all those young guys out there. You see on all the commercials now, they're trying to make the ages a big thing about the young guys and the old guys out there. But, I mean, it's golf. Anyone in the field can win. Sure, there's the Rorys and the Tigers who will win more than others, but they're just all so good. So.
Sure. Is he somebody that kind of fires you up to see him play? Do you think he's an exciting golfer and he's somebody you want to do well and want to root for?
He's fun to watch, especially I was definitely rooting for him coming down the stretch at the U.S. Open because of what happened in the past at the Masters and all that. So you don't want to see anyone struggle. You want to see him do well.
Well, as a golfer, and you see that kind of a collapse that he suffered at the Masters, does that give you any added inspiration to see what he can overcome in just one tournament to the next?
Yeah, it's good seeing. It's a big recovery. It's amazing the kind of bounce back he did. So it's fun to watch.
Well, we hope to see you out there someday, battling with him. Best of luck at UCLA, and Coach, best of luck with your team next year as you continue to battle for that Trinity League title. With you and Mater Day, I'm assuming, are going back and forth each and every year as you guys do in every sport. We appreciate you coming on. It was a good talk. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.